Hi, Bo here from High Tech Investment, and welcome back to the channel where today we're going to talk about the Trillant platform. The Trillant CEO recently has released just a 30-minute webinar regarding the state of the platform itself, and there was quite a few shocking announcements in there that we wanted to share with you today. Platform, of course, is running well, but there's also a plan behind everything since it now went from previous Paribas into a new Trillant platform back in August, and from there on it has developed over time. We will also show you a bit on how well we have done so far. In the account now we are past $10,000, so it's going in the right direction. But obviously every beginning also can create a few issues once in a while, and those are some of the issues that we're going to go through here today, show you a bit more about. So the video itself was sent out here on the 26th of February, and this was basically just half an hour with no Q&A. It was just the CEO talking itself about the last things. We haven't seen much information coming out from the Trillant platform in the last couple of months. So there was obviously quite a few things to cover. We're going to try and cook it down, boil it down to something that you can quickly consume here. And we will also give you a bit of our feedback and our view on some of these things that was said. Now, one of the good things, and let's start with that, of course, is the disbursement limit no longer applies for the end of March. And here we're talking about the TRILL coin. In the beginning, when that was launched, and it was launched on two different exchanges that we're going to have a closer look at a bit later here, it started off with the limitations on how much you can actually withdraw. And now coming 1st of March, there is basically no limits. That was part of the plan all along, and that is absolutely great to see. But obviously some of these things also have a negative impact, despite obviously it's good that people can take more and more money out, and we're going to have a look exactly of the impacts of this. So let's have a look at the exchanges first and see how the coin price itself has developed and why it has developed like this. Now, for the people that has been part of Trillant platform since the beginning, we remember that we got a special offer here. So back at 5 cents. So when it came to the 3, since then, when it then was released, so it was at 10 cents. And from there on, it basically jumped up over the next couple of days, all the way up to $1, and then settling down again. And since then, it has basically been in decline. It has been in decline basically and majorly because, again, here that people are taking more out than the people are buying. And obviously that also reflects in the price that you can see here. These are the last 9-10 days, so within the xt.com platform itself. And you can see that the price has dropped. Now it's 0.000749, and obviously we just had a big spike. Normally we see a big spike right around the end of the month beginning, and we can also see there was a bit of decline already starting on the 27th of February here, where people were selling. But basically the major part this particular month was actually after a couple of days here on the 3rd and 4th, and then now again here on the 7th of March, where there has been a massive sale. And we haven't seen these type of spikes before, 270 million, and we are looking at 1 hour within every single red and green marker you have at the bottom of the screen. So that is quite heavy, definitely, for sure. And the price looked like it was going up here on the 7th. Since then it has stabilized again, and so far it continues to be in that particular level. Now, the same thing is what we are seeing here with CoinStore. It has exactly the same development, even though the volume here is, a lot lower. As you can see, 80 million for that particular one. But some of the spikes and the selling is pretty much the same here. It also had on the 7th, so the major spike up to 0.0024, which is obviously nice. And a lot of people got quite excited about all this. But very, very quickly, again, a lot more sales. And in this particular case, also, it was about 80 million, as you can see here. So within 1 hour. So again, people are still trying to get something out of the platform. But of course, if more is selling than buying, then definitely the price will continue to go down. And that is some of the things we're going to talk about and what can actually stabilize this also through time. And one of the things that we really wanted to see was the TRILL, the Trillion stable token, that would have a major influence on this particular price development. But let's have a quick look at the development also from the crypto exchanges themselves, because they have actually swapped around in between the two. So a quick look at the coin market cap here basically shows you now that the xt.com platform is in number 66, so spot at the moment. And that has definitely gone down compared to what we saw in 2022. They were up in the mid 30s, low 30s here. And obviously things have changed a bit, not particularly just because of Tree, but basically it has moved back about 30 spots itself. So obviously, again, this is on trading volume at the moment, and obviously that one is a negative development for them. CoinStore, on the other hand, when we left them back in 2022 here, they were around just below the 100, so 97 last time we checked, and now they're actually up in 48th spot. So definitely move forward and definitely doing better. But as you can see on the volumes itself, so within the platform, then it's still XT that is leading by at least double or triple sometimes. So obviously the two exchanges are there, and these are also the exchanges where we expect the TRILL to be basically launched on, and obviously more about that here. So this was one of the major things that I think a lot of the members of Trillant platform was looking forward to, especially because of the development here for the 3 coins. Since it was dropping, basically means that if you wanted to sell this out, you would sell it at a major loss. And obviously, as you can see, people are still doing that for some reason. We definitely holding on to all of ours, but this is the listing of the Trillion, and this is the stable coin itself. So basically 1-to-1 with the US dollar. Now, one of the things that the CEO mentioned in here, Erich, so he says there may be a delay in listing Trillion on the major crypto exchange. Obviously, we did have a feeling about that, and we have mentioned that in a couple of videos in the past. Why, don't really know, but we just had a feeling that depending on the development of the tree, this could definitely happen. And basically the initial listing was planned for Q1 of 2023. And part of the video itself, Erich says, well, it might not be possible to do that. And at the end of the day here, he comes in and then gives us a bunch of reasons, saying, you know, launching a new coin on an exchange is a large project involving various factors that can often prove to be unpredictable. And yes, for sure, we understand this. But then again, when we went to Miami, when it was the Paribas meeting over there, we already knew that we're going to have these 2 coins. These coins were sort of actually done at the same time. So we don't really see why Tree could basically be implemented so very, very quickly. And then all of a sudden this one here is not. Doesn't really make any sense to us. We understand there's other parameters within a stablecoin that obviously need to be backed up. And that is some of the things that also he mentions in here. And one of the funny parts, again, you have to remember that the video from the CEO itself, it actually comes out in German, and I do speak a bit of German here, so you can pick up a lot more on the native language, of course. And normally you also get text below, so in English within 24 hours, and that can also clarify a few things. But definitely if you listen to the original version there, you get some things that you might not get just through the text itself. And definitely we got that a few times where we seem to read a few things between the lines. So obviously we understand that moving money from A to B is part of the normal part, so to make sure that you can sustain this stable coin. But this cannot be news. I mean, he had more than a year, him and his entire team. So why this would be an issue, I'm not really sure, and he didn't come into any specific details on this. But yes, of course, there has been many things happening in the crypto space, but giving it a year, I believe that that shouldn't have been a problem. Now, Erich also mentioned here there was some politics behind this, and again, we're a bit baffled about what that would be. Again, he doesn't really elaborate on any of this here at all, and to me, it sounds like some poor excuses. So for a really bad management so far, that's the only thing that we can see. And obviously, if new information comes to light, we will be happy to change our opinion about it. But so far, we haven't really seen any particular reason why this would have been delayed. So given the nature of everything that has been set up in the last year. Now the information is here that before the end of Q2, that should be released. Why all of a sudden they are giving themselves an additional 3 months when it could be at the end of March, I'm not really sure of, but I'll bet you that we're only going to see some of these things here by end of June. So he's going to take as long as absolutely possible. That is just the feeling that I'm sitting back with after watching that particular video. Now the second part is also the raffle that he mentioned a bit about, and that started already back in 2022. And the first one here was one of the Porsches here, luxury sports car. I'm not exactly sure which one the second one was, but this was, again, you could go in and buy basically minimum $500 of tree, and then you had to stake it for the 52 weeks. And then you had a chance to attend the raffle itself. You couldn't use the tree that you had in the platform itself. It had to come from outside. Now, there's been a lot of discussions on this, apparently. So from some of the leaders, where people, again, feel that, well, the coin price is down. They can't get the stablecoin out at the moment. So it sounds a bit ridiculous to give people a car for several $100,000 here. And there's now an opportunity where that might change and change into smaller gifts itself, such as weekend gifts, most probably here. And also, travels and laptops, phones, things like this, also where there would be more winners overall. So the two cars itself, one has been delivered, which we believe will be delivered in Switzerland here shortly. The one in US was actually the first one that was sent out, but apparently there are some rules within US that, again, the Trillant platform didn't really have a look at. So, and obviously it sounds a bit amateur night, where some of these things has not already been thought through. And again, leaves us just with a bit of a strange feeling of the work that goes on behind the scenes. Obviously not too much. Now the next part here is know your business, so KYB, which is part of the Trillant, so the marketplace itself, where you can go in and use your tree to buy multiple different types of projects, and these are basically shops all around the world. And in this particular case, they are trying to make sure that these are not fake. These are not trying to take off your money. And the major part that they have started off with here now is the first confirmation that will be sent out to the individual shops. The first 200 has already received some information. They are supposed to give this back. And there's a procedure in there where they then need to work together with the ban transaction partner, so Mountain Wolf, that will then assign them to a store IBAN. And again, this has also failed. So this has not worked as it should be. And again, in this particular case, Erich comes back and says this is down to the developer itself. So for that particular platform here, so the Mountain Wolf, but they believe that that could be sorted fairly quickly. Obviously, after the first 200 shops, the next 100 will go out, and so on and so on. And hopefully we will see a lot of partners getting all this KYB sorted so that people can shop safely online through the Trillant platform. And that is obviously also one of the things that the more that actually happens on the Trillant platform itself, the more volume that you get on the tokens themselves, it should also increase the price for the tree overall. Now, the other part was a bit of a big surprise, I would say. So Erich came out and said, yeah, there's some issues with the banking license. And some of these issues was actually highlighted by two YouTubers that apparently had looked into this and found that there were some issues with it itself. Now, we have seen this banking license also, and they had this banking license for about 3 years. It goes all the way back to Unique Exchange. And basically some of the things that he mentioned in here, and it sounded like, especially on the German side here, that he was a bit baffled about this, and I would definitely have liked if he would have been a bit more convincing when he was explaining some of these things to us. So the banking license is now being reviewed again, and what he believes is that the service provider, basically the company that is in between Trillant itself and then the proper authorities here, there is some dispute about the handling of this particular part. Now, does that mean that the banking license is not valid? Does it mean it's void or not? We actually have no clue right now. The only thing that we know, based on what Erich told us here, is that he will come back as soon as he has confirmed the banking license, and if everything is okay or not, then we should know more about it. Unfortunately, this is a week after, and we still haven't heard anything new, which is obviously always a bad sort of first impression. Now, I also promised you a bit of just on the development itself from the platform, since we have been in. Obviously, we were in back then when it was called Paribas. We transferred everything over, and we got the 5-cent discount back then. So to buy all the tree and then buy the packages itself. And you can see we have 6 active packages. So currently in here, and they continue to deliver. All 6 packages is basically set up on the 52 weeks. And back then also, when the price went from 5, then at the launch it went at 10 cents. And then it went up to 13 cents. And then we did a restake on that. So actually means that we are actually producing a lot more than we did in the beginning. And that has also left us now with about 10,398 TRILL, which is the stable coin. So it's similar to US dollars. On top of this, we still have some tree also in the platform that we haven't put back into some of the packages. We might do that at one given point. But at the moment, we are waiting just to see how the development will go. And definitely we want to have a few more things happening with the platform. But one of the major issues here for us is we want to see the stablecoin. We want to try and take a bit more money out. Also to make sure, obviously, that we are risk-free, that we tell everybody this is the best way to do this. And then from there on, obviously, it's also a good idea right now with the prices being so low to go in buy a bit for the future, because definitely there is several $100% that most probably can be had if you can sit on it for 3, 6, or maybe 12 months even. So there's good opportunities within this platform, but we need to see a bit more. So from the CEO itself and the team. Now in the past, and when everything was set up for the Trillant platform, we have done quite a few videos. Especially this video is of interest most probably to you that want to take a bit of money out. It again goes into how to transfer a tree to XT and CoinStore, and it takes it all the way back to your wallet if that's what you want to do, basically out of the exchange and back into your hard wallet, whatever you have in there, as you should have. And this is a tutorial where you can go in and practice, or if you want to have a bit of it out, then definitely this is the one to follow. There's also another video, which is this one here regarding the Trillant website. So if you're interested in the shopping itself, you can have a closer look at this one. Or if you're interested in connecting your business up to this, then it's also an opportunity, and you will find more information in this particular video here too. Now, crypto security is very, very important. As we mentioned many, many times before, don't keep your money in crypto exchanges. It is the worst thing you can do, definitely. Yes, transfer it if you have to do exchanges into other coins, things like this, and the rest of the time you should definitely leave it. in a hard wallet. We have Ledger Nano ourselves, and that's also why we have done this particular tutorial, so that you can take advantage of, especially also while we are waiting for the USDT, the stablecoin, or the TRILL here to come into play. For this particular video, it will tell you exactly what you get when you buy it, how you install, and how you can do the entire setup. So a very good tutorial, so that we have gotten a lot of good feedback on. So definitely anybody in the crypto world, this is one of the things that is essential to you. And that's basically it for this particular video. As you can see, we have quite a few announcements, and some of them were definitely a big shock to us, and I think a lot of the other members in there. There's no doubt about it that the Trillant marketplace and the Trillant platform is definitely growing. It's developing all the time. Now we just have to make sure also that all the members are actually getting a bit of money out and starting to see some positive results out of this. And I do believe that we have to wait a few months in order to get the stablecoin out here. Once we can do that and people get a bit of money out, they will also mean that they now will be more interested in investing a bit more back into the platform itself. And that's where you will start to see a bit more of buying on the tree itself. And probably that's by then the coin development will take place. But obviously we're not a financial advisor. This is only our private opinion. And we obviously don't really know your financial situation or family situation. But all we have to tell you again is don't go out and borrow money for any of these platforms, neither Trillant or any other platform here. So only spend the money that you can afford to lose, and definitely hope for the best. We are in it, and we do think that this platform is solid enough, but we would like things to move a bit faster, like so many of our members here also. And hopefully we'll have more on this in the next couple of months. As soon as some news comes out, you can find it in our news report, or we will make a dedicated video similar to this one here. So until my next video, see you around. Bye.